Hachette Audio presents Julian Fellowes' Belgravia, Episode 8, An Income for Life. Written by Julian Fellowes. Read by Juliet Stevenson.
John Bellises braced himself before he crossed the threshold of his parents' house in Harley Street. He wasn't sure why he disliked it so much. Maybe because the place was so dingy in comparison to his aunt's splendid palace in Belgrave Square. Maybe because it reminded him his origins were not quite as smart as they should have been. Or perhaps it was simpler. Perhaps it was just that his parents bored him. They were dull people, weighed down with problems of their own making, and to be honest, he sometimes felt a creeping impatience for his father to quit the scene, leaving John as his uncle's direct heir. Whatever the truth of the matter, he experienced a certain weariness as the door was opened and he stepped inside. Luncheon at home with his parents was not an invitation he would normally accept with much enthusiasm. He'd usually concoct some excuse, an urgent, pressing engagement that could sadly not be delayed. But today he was, once more, in need of funds, so he had little choice but to be courteous to his mother, who always indulged her son and rarely refused him anything. It was not a fortune, but he needed a little extra to tide him over until Christmas. And there was the small question of Ellis and Turton to attend to. But that was an investment, he told himself confidently, a small outlay for a large reward, or so he hoped. He wasn't sure what the butler and the maid would come up with, but his instincts told him that the Trenchards were hiding something. And at that point, any illuminating fact about Charles Pope and his connections would be helpful. John was banking on the butler. He recognized a venal soul when he saw one, and Turton had greater freedom of access within the Trenchard home than a lady's maid. Turton had carte blanche to wander around the house, and could lay his hands on keys that would be withheld from servants of a lower rank. The maid's territory was a little more circumscribed. Of course, Turton had feigned surprise and consternation at their meeting when it was suggested he might investigate Mr. Trenchard's papers, but then again, it was amazing how persuasive the offer of
Sample complete. Ready to continue?